Hey YouTubers, welcome back to Grandpa's Garage. Just thought I'd come online and just give a quick update on where things are at. I've made some progress. Of course, not as fast as I had hoped, but it's progress nonetheless. So just to give a quick update. Here, let me flip this thing around. I left off in the last video, but here's where we're at. The engine is in the car. I've got the transmission is hooked up. Everything is hooked up. As far as the electrical goes, the plumbing is all in place except for the top coolant hose. I'll explain about that in a minute. But I've got the carburetor on. Everything is at top dead center. The distributor is in place and lined up. And we're moving forward on things. One thing I did find is that I've got the underdrive pulleys on here, and when I mounted them, the water pump pulley was not lined up with the others. It was actually sitting too close to the engine. And I'm not sure what the deal is there, whether it was like that even with the stock pulleys, but that would explain why the belts were completely chewed up. The main belt that goes from the drive pulley to the water pump to the alternator there was, it's a 5-rib belt. And the one that was on the car was actually completely chewed up and down to I think 3 remaining ribs. So just to show you what I've done, I took the pulley and I shimmed it. I just used washers. I put on 1 washer at a time on each of those and measured it with a flat surface across the face of all the pulleys. And then it wasn't quite right, so I added a second washer and they're all on there. And now, sure enough, it lines up. So in order to hold those washers in place too, it was a real trick trying to get the bolts in there and hold the washers on and get the pulley in place, because as you can see, it's quite deep. So crazy glue with a shot of kicker to harden it on the spot is your best friend. So I'm going to go ahead and get that mounted, and then I'm going to move ahead to getting things set up with the carburetor. I've got the cable mounting brackets in place. I've got another bracket that's going to go on for the springs, and then we'll run the plumbing. All right. All right. So we got some time in last night and made some good progress. So let's have a look at things. So I came in here last night, and my goal was to work on the electrical and the vacuum lines. And here's the progress. So as you can see, I've kept the original emissions system, and I've got all the vacuum lines run, as well as the cruise control. So the vacuum lines I've got run over and across the back of the engine. You can see there. And what I did is I actually took some hard lines off an old car project. I got a parts box full of stuff. And rather than having these rubber hoses run everywhere, I actually made these nice hard lines that wrap in and around the engine bay. I don't know, in my mind it looks a little more professional. So you can see here, they go along and then up and across the back, so it cleans it up a little bit. The other thing I did is I kept the spring bracket that I got for the throttle. It was the wrong one, it didn't fit the car, but some minor modifications to take care of clearances here, and it all works now. So I've got some good return on the spring. I cleaned up, I tied up the electrical harness. It looks like crap right now, but it is what it is. Until I get everything figured out, I was able to get rid of the EGR and a few of the other vacuum lines that are no longer needed. I wired up the electronic choke. That works. I kept the original wiring and was able to just modify the end and put that on. And you can see I've got the PCV system all plumbed in and hooked up. The other thing is I got the fans in and hooked up and running. And then while I was under there, I torqued down the crank pulley and the water pulley and everything. So everything is up and hopefully ready to start soon. I've got the spark plugs in. I've got the left exhaust manifold on, but I still have 1 fan switch that I need to mount on the right side. So that's why the exhaust manifold's not on there yet. I did miss that switch, so I went over and I need to pull it off of the old engine. You can see it right there. It's in a bit of a precarious place. So once that's off and mounted, I will get the fan switch in, get the exhaust manifold in, and then continue to get the exhaust hooked up. So you can see we've made some good progress on the car. What's next? Next, I need to get underneath the car and I need to install the drive shaft, put on the inspection cover on the bell housing, and cover all that up, as well as bolt up the torque converter. Right now it's just loose. I didn't want to move anything until I had everything installed up top because I had it set for top dead center. And then once that's done, I get inside, reassemble a few things in the wiring, and then it should be ready to start. I hope it's ready to start, but we'll see. Time will tell. And then it's clean up. Right now it's dirty, but I got to get the body back on and get this thing ready for paint. So I've already paid for the paint job, so it's got to happen sometime soon. All right, so there it is. More on the flip side. Take care. Bye.